Have you ever been right and still lost the room or worse, the decision? Like, I've been there. Maybe your idea was better, your recommendation was stronger, you had a better overview of the variables involved. Your logic is sound, everything is set up, and yet you can't grab the room, you can't grab the decision. Someone else gets the buy-in. Why? That's what we're talking about today. Welcome, persuasion. Today is all about persuasion power. Yes. And why people say yes. Psst, it's not just logic. Okay, yes, there is logic in there. I'm not saying you don't use logic, but we're pulling back the curtain and getting super clear about this today. Whether you're listening live or on the recording, drop a comment. Let me know you're here. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. I'm checking my channels to make sure we are all good. I see everyone coming in on the different channels. Thank you very much. Excellent. So glad to have you here because persuasion, it's not just about being right. It's about going on a journey, taking someone on a journey and creating belief. And belief is rarely created through logic alone, right? We know that. Belief takes a little bit more, and we're going to dig into that today. Let me just make sure my camera is set up. I want to go back in time, go back in history for a second here, and to about, well, over 2,000 years ago to Aristotle. And Aristotle identified three forces, three core forces that shape human decision making. We may change our clothes, we may change fashion, we may think we're changing a lot of things, but at the core, humans haven't changed that much in 2,000 years. And Aristotle's known for ethos, pathos, and logos. If you don't know these terms, I got you, not a problem. Ethos, we're talking about credibility. In fact, I'm going to pull up some slides here, but yeah, not yet. Yeah, actually, let's do the slides. Slides are so much fun. Let's get into the slides. So, as I said, we're talking about persuasion power and why people say yes. It's not just logos, not just the logic. And most professionals rely almost entirely on that third one. And we're going to figure out how to do it better. But first, I want to tell you about all the goodies. So if you've been watching me, if you've been joining me for the month of June, I've been doing sessions, live sessions every Wednesday. You can go back and look at the recordings and giving away PDFs, hooks about stick stories that make them stick in your brain, speak in confidence in real time. And today is about persuasion and the persuasion triggers. But wait, I was so inspired by this one because this topic is so important. We're also going to talk about the three levers of persuasion. And that's what we're starting with first, the ethos, pathos, and logos. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right, here it is. So this is the pyramid, the trust, emotion, and logic. Trust is that credibility. We're going to be exploring all three of these because if you understand all three layers or all three levers, you start seeing how because if you understand all three levers, you start to see persuasion working and how it works everywhere. And it's not just in speaking or in presentations, it's in advertising, absolutely, but also in movies, but first, wait a minute, before we get into all of this, who am I and why should you listen to me? If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Elizabeth of Talk with ECM. I'm a speaking coach and founder of the Irresistible Academy. My mission is to take my clients from invisible to irresistible so that their ideas, their value, and their voice stand out, especially in the age of AI. And today, We're talking about persuasion, not manipulation, not trickery, persuasion. And it's all about the goodies that I showed you before. But why does this matter? Why does it matter? You might think, I'm not in sales. I don't need this. Actually, the truth is, every single day you persuade. Every single day you persuade, whether you're talking to clients, to colleagues, hiring managers, audience, stakeholders, networking contacts, family members. Pretty much, if you're interacting with human beings, persuasion is part of your day. It just is. And the question is not whether or not you need persuasion or you're surrounded by persuasion, because you are. The question is, how are you doing it? Are you doing it intentionally or accidentally? So today is about getting intentional and clear about persuasion. Because most communication training, most people talk about what to say when we're preparing for a speech or a meeting. We think, what are we going to say? But persuasion focuses not on the speaker, but on the listeners, right? On the listeners, specifically why people listen. And this will change the game for you because every audience is silently asking three questions. Can I trust you? Do I care? Does this make sense? Can I trust you? Do I even care? And does this make sense? Otherwise, swiping on by, doing something else. We are all too busy to waste our time. In fact, you're probably asking yourself these questions right now. And as a speaker, if you miss any one of these questions, persuasion, actually everything breaks down. So let's look at this pyramid again. I think this helps out a lot. The visual pyramid can show us not only what's involved, but actually the order involved. We start with trust. This is the right side up pyramid, and how strong communicators lead. Start with trust. So earn trust first. Then we go into the emotion and create that emotional connection. Connect with the people, help them feel where you are. Logic is the final supporting piece. Add the logic to support it. And the result is high impact and more yes. Let's get into the details here. Let's get into those details. So, ethos, this is the first one. Trust me. Persuasion it starts with credibility, not credentials, credibility. Who are you? Why should I trust you? Why should I listen to you? And people decide this quickly, very quickly, whether or not they trust a speaker. When you're walking out on stage, people are already making decisions long before they even have time to evaluate the content. Next time you're listening to a speaker, whether it's casually in a networking event, in a meeting, or very officially a keynote speaker, watch how quickly you decide this. And trust, how, as a speaker, if we want to build trust, how do we do this? Trust is built. I like to have my face a little bit bigger without making the slides tiny. It's tough. Trust is built through confidence, speaker confidence, consistency, being known for a particular topic or area, showing up, being reliable, authenticity. Authenticity. Even toddlers can tell if you're being fake. It's about being authentic and trustworthy. And competence. Do you know what you are talking about? Can you actually do the skills? Do you have the skills, experience, and knowledge necessary? And those are the four pillars that are all involved in creating trust, sustainable trust, not trickery, not manipulation, trust, sustainable trust. And without trust, even the most accurate, secure, the best facts bounce off. They don't even matter. So, the big question I ask my clients when they're getting ready to speak, when we're preparing for an event, Which signals are you sending before you even start speaking? This is a question most people feel shocked by. Which signals are you sending before you even start speaking, before you open your mouth, before you say anything? How do you enter the room? Where do you go? How do you hold yourself? Even in a digital space, even when I entered this room, this digital room, these are questions that your brain was tracking. Maybe not consciously, you weren't thinking, okay, where is she in the screen? Is she drinking with water? What? Ooh. Maybe not, but your brain is tracking it. This is what we do as humans. This is what we do. Let's try the slides again, but this time with this size face for me. Can you see me a little better now? Go ahead and drop that in the comments. Drop that in the comments. That helps me know and adjust so that we can make this a better experience for everyone. Uh-oh, having a bit of a tech issue. Excellent. Everything's all set up, ready to go again. Love it, love it, love it. Moving on to our next slide. So we started with ethos. The next one is pathos. Feel with me. And you might know this word from like pathological, right? Feel with me. And I love this little meter here, starting from happy. So the range of emotions. And if you can tell by the slide, that shape at the bottom is a human and the meter is going around. It's about taking people on a journey with you, because emotion drives attention. It drives memory. So it's clicking all these triggers we as humans naturally have, and it drives ultimately action. And this is what we want when we're talking about invisible to irresistible: impact, influence, and we want to drive action. And you don't have to take my word for it. YouTube, Hollywood, Netflix, they know this, and they are shaping decisions of probably the entire human population based on emotions. And it's addictive. It's addictive. I have not met a person who has not seen or heard of YouTube, Hollywood, or Netflix. We are all being touched. And people say, no, 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 Elizabeth, you don't understand. I am a logical person. I know numbers. I know facts. I make decisions based on logic. And I agree with you. You do. You justify. This is what most people do, unless you're an exception to the rule. Most people justify decisions with logic, with features, with facts, but they rarely make decisions with logic alone. And that's what today is all about. And that's the curtain that covers everything. We feel like we are making decisions based on logic, but notice I use the word feel there. But when we look back, when we look at the process of decision making, we actually are being shaped by emotions. And I don't mean emotions like, oh, I'm crying and I have feelings. And some people do. They say that I'm making decisions with my gut. I have intuition. And then we use logic, we use facts, features, figures, charts, beautiful things to justify the decision. But again, we rarely make decisions based on logic alone. And here is why: people make decisions based on stories, metaphors, examples, experiences. It's all of that stuff that is moving and feeling and emotional. People always remember how they feel. Maya Angelou, a great poet, she has a quote that I absolutely love. She said, people will, and I'm paraphrasing because I'm quoting from memory here. She said, people may forget what you said. They may forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And this one is very dear to my heart, especially in these past few weeks. If you know me well, my mother is going through some very challenging times since her husband died and since my stepfather died, and she's getting very confused and her mental health is not what it used to be, and I have to be very careful with her. I can share any information, any facts, any figures with her, but I need to be careful in how I say them and how she feels receiving them. This is me using all of my tools in a very sensitive, emotional time for myself because the next day she may not remember what I said. She probably won't remember what I did, but she is going to remember how she felt. And that has come back to harm me multiple times in the past few months. So I'm learning right along with you. I'm learning right along with you. But the question is, because here we're focused mostly, although these are true in all aspects of our life, in this session, we are focused on our professional life, on presentations, on speaking in different settings, in meetings, online, keynotes, presentations, pitches. And my question for you is, how do you want people to feel when they hear your message? How do you want them to feel? All right. Do you want them curious, hopeful, inspired? That's a big one. Inspired, confident, overwhelmed. How do you want them to feel? Think about that. Drop it in the comments. Send me a private message. Let's keep this conversation going even after the session is finished. And how you want them to feel, and then take a good hard look at yourself. Hold up a mirror, look at a video of the last time you spoke, and ask, how do people currently feel? How do they feel when you speak? This is a tough one. This is a very tough one. And a lot of times when we're honest with ourselves, especially my clients, some of them will tell me people look bored. Their eyes are shifting around, disinterested. These are not the feelings we want people to have, especially when we're talking about something important, when we're trying to persuade. So, work with the we're going to get into that right now. So, we want to use stories, we want to use metaphors, we want to use examples, and we want to trigger these emotions so that we can deliver the logic in the next step, that third part of the pyramid. And let's get into that third part of the pyramid. Now, I see people are coming in live now. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. And I welcome you here, and feel free to drop a question in the comments. I would love to interact with you and call your name out and welcome you live to the session. It's a little bit hard for me to call your name out. I can see you're here. They show me a number, but hi, you. And we are about to jump into the third point, which is logos. And this means think with me. Come on. Come on, computer. Think with me. Think with me. So we had feel with me, and now think with me. Because even though I say don't lead with this, it's true. Logic matters. We are smart people. Your audience is smart people, and we all believe we make decisions based on logic. But logic works best after trust, after emotion are already present, are already established, and already strong. Logic provides that structure, the evidence, the reasoning, the clarity that we need to justify the decision that we already want to make. All right, a little bit of psychology here. I love this picture because the light bulb, the logic, so everything was lining up Okay, dominoes not falling down. I don't want to say that, but we have the trust foundation. We have the emotional foundation. We have the connection. We have everyone believing, ready to go. And then the ding, ding, ding. I wish that light bulb was lit up. Maybe I can adjust that for future presentations because then the logic shows up and seals the deal. And that's why we remember it most because it seals the deal. It wraps everything up and is the reason we made the decision. Do you see how that works? Now, I have a tough question for you. I have a tough question for you right now. And that is when you're giving a presentation, when you're speaking with people, when you are actually looking to influence a decision, are your facts supporting your message? Confusing your message? Or are they trying to carry your whole message? Are they trying to do all the heavy lifting? Because what we know, what we've already established is facts alone can't, or at least can't as effectively, can't as elegantly make that shift happen. Let's look again at that pyramid I showed you at the beginning. Let's look again. So, quick review: the ethos, pathos, logos, trust me, feel with me, and think with me. This is tapping into all the different types of humans, all the different ways that our brains think and our priorities. And going through this process will create a smoother transition for persuasion. And here we have the triangle. Ah, no, here. Where is my triangle? Mercy. Oh, they don't have labels. Dang it. I want to show you the triangle. These are the two, you can see the triangle on the right side. These are the two infographics that I want to give you. Just send me a message, tell me how to give them to you, and they are yours. Ding, 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 ding. Gifts, 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 gifts. Because it's hot out and I want to be generous. Let's see if I can find the, no, there is absolutely no pyramid. I wanted the pyramid and I have it closed. So I want to show you the pyramid here. And I can't do that, Elizabeth. So what we're going to do is make it bigger. And basically, I'll show you, oh, that's what we'll do. I'll show you the first pyramid. Let's go back. I'll show you the first pyramid, and it's basically an inverted. Oh, this is way too slow. Elizabeth doesn't like this. When she feels inspired and she wants to share something, ugh, how are you going to do that? We will do our best. My goodness, this is not being friendly. No kindness. No kindness. Okay, we're going to handle it this way. I have it on my computer and I'm going to just share it with you with a screen share spontaneously. And while I'm doing that, while that is all coming up, I want to tell you that the next portion, so the next in 5 minutes, I'm going to be opening up the Irresistible Academy on the school platform for free for you to come in. We're going to have an interactive call to practice these things in real time and you get real feedback. But now I'm doing a screen share. There we are. This is the pyramid, the upside down pyramid. So this is how most people communicate, starting with logic, right? Logic is the most important. We said that's how I make my decisions. So we start with logic, might add in maybe a little bit of emotion, a story, maybe a joke, something to make it funny. And then at the end, we hope trust happens because we gave them all the logic, right? And it rarely happens on its own, just naturally. So the result is low impact and lost opportunities. Bzz, not what we want. So we want to flip the script, flip the pyramid around, make it a right side up pyramid, and start with trust. This is how strong communicators lead. So it's not just about communication, it's not just about connection, it's about leadership. It's about leadership, presence, and guiding the conversation, guiding the pathway towards the decision, guiding the thinking process. And for this, we want to start with trust. Earn trust first. So it's not a list of credentials, it's not the stamps of which trainings you went through. It's a human thing, it's trust. Give people reasons to trust you. Then create an emotional connection. And again, this isn't necessarily about making people cry or laugh or get angry, but it's about creating that understanding, which supports the foundation of trust you've already established and deepens it further. And then finally, we wrap it all up with logic. We add that logic into the mix to support it, wrap it all up. And the result is high impact, more yes, more action, more influence, more everything you want. Everything you want. You become the go-to person. That is the triangle I wanted. And this is actually, yeah, something I want to have available for you as well. So I've stopped sharing my screen. So I'm back to the slides in a random position. So let's get to the right position with the slides. In the review, the 3. So we've covered that quite well. Then we have here on the left side, the 10 persuasion triggers. We understand the 3 levers. Now there are 10 drivers. Don't want to overcomplicate this, but there are 10 drivers that activate them. Basically, the tools we use to make these things happen, to switch those levers. They're like persuasion accelerators. These are the practical tools we'll practice inside the academy. So there are trust drivers, so credibility, believability, similarity, finding similarity between you and your listeners, being kind of someone they can trust, basically. We have emotional drivers. This is with story, relatability, helping people understand your experience, your perspective, desirability. This one is one you've probably experienced when you see advertisements. People show luxury resorts, and there's that triggering that desirability, something we want, a way we want to see ourselves. And emotion is something I've talked about quite a lot on a generic level, but just, yeah, getting very specific about that and how to do that. In the interest of time, I'm going to breeze through this. Attention and logic drivers. This is the logos aspect, curiosity, contrast, urgency is one we're all familiar with. Buy now. It doesn't have to be that obnoxious, but we can talk about the urgency of making decision, the urgency of moving forward, the urgency of saying yes, and what happens if we don't. Because every persuasive message uses some combination of these 10. Most people use them accidentally, or they know 3 and use them on repeat. But great communicators, great speakers, great thinkers use them intentionally and reap the rewards. The ROI on these is insanity. It's so good. Now I want to transition into practice, because here's the challenge. Knowing the drivers changes nothing. It changes absolutely nothing, but using them changes everything. And that's why I want to welcome you to the Irresistible Academy, because in the academy, we're going to take real communication and test it. I am giving you the link right now. I see we have a chat. Apologies for the delay. I was fighting with my slides. Bring them to me. Hi, Judy. So good to see you. Whoa, this having a problem. Why are my links just being a drama? There we go. Join me in the Irresistible Academy. Ding, 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 ding. It's coming through YouTube, LinkedIn. Come on, Facebook. I'm waiting on you. We're going to be talking about whatever you need to do it for. You want to talk about presentations, LinkedIn posts, networking introductions, sales conversations. The links didn't come through. Let's try that again. Facebook seems to be a drama, and we're going to identify. You're going to tell me what you normally say, and I have a simple diagnostic, and we're going to identify which persuasion drivers are missing. I'm going to guess it's the levers, first of all, but then we'll talk about how to use the drivers to get that going. And how to do that, all you need to do is to choose one message. Ask, do people trust it? Do people feel it? Do people understand it? And then we're going to layer in those drivers one by one and watch your message become stronger, become more you, right? Because it's not about being fake. It's not about manipulation or weirdness. It's about brushing away the distractions so that you can be you, speak like you, sound like you, just a little clearer, and a little stronger. Because people don't say yes. Ooh, we don't need these slides. I get so excited speaking with you and I forget I have the slides on. There's the school link. Love to see you there. I already put that link in there. Persuasion power. That is the end of our slides. Good. And what for me is the biggest takeaway I want you to have here today is that people don't say yes because they understand. People say yes because they believe. And belief is built through trust, emotion, and logic, those three levers we talked about. Then that's what we want to do. And we want to learn, I want to show you exactly how to activate them through the 10 persuasion drivers, because that's where influence begins. So join me inside the Irresistible Academy. Bring something you want to talk about, and we'll make it more persuasive together. Because communication isn't just about information. It's about connection and influence. And that's what we're doing today. So go ahead, click the link, join me in the Irresistible Academy. I'll be in there for the next 30 minutes until 1 o'clock Vienna time. Wherever you are in the world, you have another 30 minutes and we'll work on it in real time. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And even if you listened on the replay, go ahead, send me a message and let's continue this conversation. Let's continue this in real time. Thanks for joining. Ciao.